Greetings, Bath Warriors. Greetings. Greg is here. So are you. Welcome to the Results Kill Excuses channel. Going on a afternoon walk. Little different vibe today. But yet still doing the same thing. Putting in the work. Life on life's terms. Making time in nature a priority. Giving thanks for the strength, the power, and the mobility within my body, to move my body, to be outside, to slow down a little bit, and not move so fast. It's interesting, some of these trucks, they're flying down this road. Sometimes we can get going so fast, but are we really going somewhere? Have you ever felt like that? Like you're moving and you're doing 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 some more, but maybe you're not actually getting somewhere. And then there's been times where I have been still, totally present. Breathwork exercise for an hour or more. And honestly, I feel like I can go to the farthest place in the universe. I can go anywhere. And it's like I'm still in one place. And I think there's beauty in all of that. Some beautiful views here. April showers are going to hopefully bring May flowers. It's beautiful to be alive, to be sober, right? To be free. And free isn't a state of being based on where you're born, what country you are, how you look. I mean, I'm talking about free, mental freedom, right? Mental freedom, emotional, spiritual. And yes, the ability to physically move at your pace. And there's a lot of times where we don't realize that there's a lot more power inside of you. You don't realize how much power you have. Because why? You've programmed yourself to think small, to live small, to play it safe. You've programmed that. You did that. Other people help put the inputs, but you have agreed to it. And what I'm here to help you out and others with you is how to reprogram. How to have that paradigm shift within the mind, within your heart, within your soul, to be able to say, if you're going one direction and it's just exhausting you, and you feel like you're doing, but not getting anywhere, and you look back year after year after year after year, and you're like, man, I got nothing to show for it. Like there could be a lot of shame that comes up around that. Especially if you're out there comparing yourself to what everyone else is doing, or at least what they project they're doing. But regardless of all of those circumstances, you have the power right here, right now, to make a declaration to yourself, before God, before me, before all creation. What do you deserve out of life? What are you willing to change about your current life? And it probably sounds easy, but it's like, man, you go in one direction, you're doing one thing, and it's all you know, it's all you've ever known, but it's really not getting you anywhere. Well, maybe, just maybe, it's time for you to say, time out. What can I do different? What's someone else doing differently than me that represents what I want to have in my life? That doesn't have to be jealousy or envy. That literally is what it takes to be inspired, right? To have a role model. That's a beautiful thing for you to see someone else out there doing the things. Now, I know that it can be hard to see who's really doing the things and who's just talking about doing the things, right? But that's where you can't depend so much on me or anyone else, the influencers of this world. You got to trust yourself. You got to go within. That's what I'm pointing you at. I'm pointing you into the mirror. Right now, I'm literally looking in a mirror. I see a reflection. I see myself, right? And if I'm honest, I love what I see. I love this man that I've become. And by becoming this man, I didn't get rid of any of the things that I didn't like. Like, they don't just disappear. But the thing is when you create a new vision for yourself and then you start to actually do these new things that really start to change how you're showing up energetically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, well, then there's something about you that does shift and you are actually perceived completely different. I'm just perceived completely different in this world, not because of weight loss and exercise and fitness. It's not because of having longer hair, right? It's not because I maybe dress different. It's because of energy. It's an energetic signature that I show up with. I'm more confident. I'm more loving. I'm more caring. I'm more present. I'm more alive. I'm more free than ever before. And that's truly what I want to help you accomplish. If that is something you desire, to be more free, well, then you deserve that. And it's not going to happen overnight. It is a process. It is something that you have to embark on. It is the spiritual awakening journey. It's a journey. And it's nothing like the fitness gurus that are telling you, track your macros, hit the gym 4 to 5 times a week, this many times, do XYZ. You got to do this exercise, this exact way, this exact weight, this exact reps. It's not that. That's a part of it. But it's not only that. See, what I've always said is those that talk about that, right? Just like those that say it's all about the money, right? You listen to the content creator, it's all about the money. Got to start the business and do the hustle and work 24/7 and 365 and never stop and kill. Money, 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 right? To me, it's not about that either, but that's a part of it, right? Just like the ones that say it's all about relationships, right? They want to put you on game and how to, if you're a woman, how to look for this type of man and da-da-da-da-da and boo-boo-doo. And if you're a guy, how to attract this kind of girl and do-do-do-do-do. And relationships is everything. And it's like, it's important. It's a part of it, but it's not everything. See, where I see all that is if you just categorize each of those, that's one-dimensional living. One-dimensional. So if you picture yourself at a table, a table that only has one leg, if it's like a pedestal, even if it has a base on it, that's a hell of a lot easier table to push over than a table that has, 4 legs on it. And so that's, the approach here where it's like, if you start to go along this journey. Non-negotiable is mental clarity, because you can't be your own worst enemy. You can't be deceiving yourself. You can't be distorting your situation and your reality. And so mental clarity means you got to be sober-minded, clear-minded. That is a non-negotiable. And I know many spiritual people, religious people, right? Metaphysical people, all kinds of like light worker types, that they are open to chemicals, alcohol, THC, pharmaceuticals. Who knows, man? Who knows? I can just tell you right here, right now, dead ass, like I would take a drug test any day of the week, 100% sober is the life that I live. It's non-negotiable, life on life's terms. It is the highest path. It is the highest ability. I was talking about THC usage, and somebody said, "Mace, you almost sound like you're kind of craving it." And I'm like, I don't need to crave it. And you want to know why? Is because in my mind and in this body, I have enough impressions of memory of what THC feels like, all different strains, all different strengths, that if I just want to feel like a little quote unquote high, blissed out, I don't need to ingest that. I can do breath work and I get all blissed out. I can do an intense workout and be super blissed out. I can do even just this, right? I'm walking up a pretty good sized hill. That's why I'm breathing the way I am. This is a good hill walk straight up. And so for me, I wouldn't want to pollute my body and distort, because, when I think back, I don't just think about the good effects. And I think that's where so many of us lose ourselves. There's the good things that we long for, right? We long for the good. And the more that you long for the good, you have a tendency to completely ignore, right? You completely ignore the bad parts, right? You ignore it. Be honest. I'm right. And so when I think about the bad parts of THC, I'm like, I don't want to feel paranoid. I don't want to be getting munchies at 47 years young at like 10 o'clock at night. That's not going to be good for me, right? Trying to suppress munchie cravings because I wanted to just kind of chill out a little bit. I know how to chill, right? It's the evening. I just had a nice meal. Now I'm going for a nice walk. It's beautiful out here. It's so great. Moving the body, getting some exercise, connecting with all you beautiful people on the other side, wherever you're at. And I hope that, again, you realize that I'm out here to be a role model, to be an example. I'm not afraid to be examined through and through. Like, it's all out there. All the cards are face up. I've been through it all. But that one-dimensional shit, again, back to the table, is, if you've ever been in a situation, maybe you've put yourself a relationship situation. This is where I have felt that, where it's like my whole world was built around a person. And when that shit went away, it's like the whole world comes crumbling down. And it's because you put them on the pedestal and you built everything around them. And then once they're gone, it's like, where does that leave you? Scrambling, because you didn't have a foundation, right? You were all in, and right, that doesn't mean that not to be committed, not to be faithful, not to be loyal. I mean, these are all the things that I require from connection. Is like, it's non-negotiable. But I also know that, there's been times in my past, and again, this goes back to my upbringing, codependency, trauma bonding with my mother because of the violent father in the life and all his physical and verbal and mental, emotional abuse. That from the earliest age, I had trauma wounds. I had trauma bonding with my mom and codependency. Well, guess what happened? That shit showed up in the first relationships, in the second, in the third, until I finally hit my rock bottom. And so, even though breaking up with alcohol and getting sober for sure, for real, was like the first step that I needed to do along this journey, healing that relationship with myself, doing that inner child healing is really the foundation for me to now be a healthy man with secure attachment in relationships. And, that's something to be really proud of because I had to reprogram myself. I realized that it's not just about making money, right? If you make the money, I know people that they go on the money making path. How do I know this? Because this is what I did. I went on the money making path. When I went all in on business, 24/7, 365, hustling, hustle, grind, hustle, grind. Right? My relationship suffered. My physical body suffered. Right? My spiritual body suffered. Because I was just about the hustle, grind. And when that shit came crashing down, right? And I've had massive economic collapses in my life, right? Where'd that leave me? Licking my wounds, feeling like a failure, not feeling like I had what it took to get back up. And ultimately that left me vulnerable to saying, I can't handle this pain. Let me turn to what has always helped, numb the pain, the alcohol, the THC. And there's been times when I went on the health and fitness journey, right? Just all in, health and fitness, right? That other areas of my life suffered. There's been times where I went all in on the relationship, right? And other areas of my life suffered because I stopped being true and authentic to myself. I stopped taking care of myself, doing the things I loved because maybe for all the different reasons, somebody that I had attracted into my life, maybe they didn't like to do those things. And since they didn't like to do those things, and I had trauma bond wounds, codependency wounds, I felt like that would be selfish for me to go do the things I love to do. And I'm here to tell you that all of that is wrong, because what I am trying to encourage each and every one of you that listens to this point, that is really hearing the message, that has the ears to hear. And the ears isn't just these, it's in this heart of yours. To have the ears to hear the message that I'm saying is, it's not just one dimensional. Even the religion. I went on a religion kick forever. And I was like unhealthy, overweight, miserable, critical, relationship suffering. It was weird. And what I finally learned, and honestly, God showed me this on this most current journey, the one that I am on right now. And I'm looking at the most incredible view. Wish you could be here. I'll let you be here for a minute. That's incredible, ain't it? Northern New Mexico in all its glory. Beautiful. It's not too cold, even though it looks cloudy. It's springish, and so it's probably upper 50s. But gosh, man, I love how light and clouds and the dramatic of life. I just thought I'd share that with you because, I'm just, it's so gorgeous. But what God showed me is, it's not about the one-dimensional. It's about being the complete version. When you really feel whole and complete, right? You do all the above. It's not one or the other. And that we are so programmed, right? Like we learn the multiple choice, but my favorite answer was all the above, right? Don't you love it? Think about it. When you did multiple choice questions, it was like you would read through and it was like, is it one of those or all the above? I always loved it. All the above. All the above. Right? You want to be sober? Is it being sober or being sexy? Right? All the above. Why don't you be sober and sexy? Do you want to be, right, in the most incredible relationship of your life or rich? All the above, right? Let's be all the above. Let's be sober. Let's be sexy. Let's be in healthy relationships, right? Let's be spiritually minded. Let's be lovers. Let's be kind, but let's be fighters. Let's be warriors in this world, right? It's all the above. That's when you start to realize that when you have been dealt a bad hand, you need to realize, wait, time out. You're the dealer. If you can pick that up, you're unstoppable. When you realize spiritually that if you're looking and you look at your life and you say, fuck, I got dealt such a shitty hand, right? It's like, wait, time out. You're the dealer. You're the house. Go through the deck, give yourself a royal flush or the best hand that you want, right? A full house. I love the royal flush. I've always loved the royal flush. When I was a kid, I used to do this. I remember playing with the cards. And I remember asking my grandpa, like, what was the best hand? And he would show me royal flush. And I said, oh, that's the hand I like. I like it. And so I'd go and pick it out. And he's like, well, it doesn't really work that way. He used to tell me, it doesn't really work that way, right? Those are rare. Those are rare. And it's like, nah, it does work that way. You get to choose if it works that way, right? But see, that's the unprogramming. When you feel guilty saying, really? You mean I can have like a bunch of weird cards that nothing, I got nothing. I don't even got a pair. And I could just take those cards, pull out the royal flush and literally hold that as if that's the hand I got dealt. Yes. Yes. You have to believe it before you see it though. You have to believe that you are that type of a creator and that you can have all the above. It's not either or. It's not either or. And what that takes, it's coming through. I love it when it comes through. So the download that's coming through right now is what that takes is for you to be more receptive. There it is. Ding, ding, ding. Be more receptive. Are you receptive enough? Do you give yourself permission to receive? Do you feel safe receiving love, receiving, abundance, receiving health, receiving new opportunities, receiving strength, receiving kindness, receiving prosperity, receiving success, receiving, right? Can you receive? Can you even just receive a compliment? I know a lot of people, you're not capable of even receiving compliments. Someone gives you a compliment and you literally brush it off. I used to be that way. I have shifted that whole paradigm. I pick up everything someone puts down for me. Someone gives me flowers, like gives me a compliment. It's like, thank you so much. And I'm also somebody now that goes out of my way to compliment people. Now here's the thing. I don't go compliment people that, like I don't compliment a young healthy man that's all fucking built. Like he knows he's fucking built. I don't compliment beautiful young sexy women. They know they're fucking beautiful and sexy. Right? I go out there and compliment, a guy that's in his 60s and 70s and he's looking lean and muscular. I'm like, dude, you're freaking amazing. What an inspiration. Right? And I do the same with women. But I even just do stuff where I look for people that There's something on their spirit. I can tell that they feel unseen. And so I'll give them a compliment. Hey, that hat looks really nice on you. You look really cute in that dress. And it's like, it's like an older person or somebody that's maybe not doing so great health-wise. And I encourage you to do the same. But again, you have to be able to also be in reception, right? And receiving is so much different than taking. We create a negativity around take, take, take. There's a lot of takers. There's a lot of energy vampires out there. So be wary and don't be one. Be somebody that again, the life I live, the 5 daily practices. I mind my mornings. I eat my health. I move my body. I learn something new every day. And then I go out there and I make a difference. Do I hit all 5 of those every day? No. 3 out of 5 keeps my cup over half full, if not full to overflowing. That's the whole point. Because I'm talking about energy when I talk about these 5 principles. This is what I have figured out to how do I not run on empty and exhaustion? And if you're somebody that's running on exhaustion, it's because you're giving everything you got. The beginning of the message, it's like you're hustle, grind, hustle, grind. And you're just so exhausted. And when you really look at what you have to show for it, it's just exhaustion. You're exhausted. You're worn out. But when you flip the paradigm and you really do create a morning routine that fills you up, that is intentional, that talks about priorities and goals and setting some time to meditate and reflect and, really just love on yourself. This is what a morning routine does, is it's like an intimate time with yourself in spirit to just love up on yourself. And when you do that, you're filling your cup. Clearly, the next form of fuel for your body is your nutrition. Garbage in, garbage out. Superfood in, whole foods in, fresh foods in, homemade foods in, things that you are making with healthy, whole, natural ingredients. Superman, superwoman comes out. You have super powers, energy. It's like, man, I haven't been sick in years. Years and years and years. And even if I get a little injury, I am so fast to heal. That's not accidental. It's a way of thinking. It's a way of being. So eating the health. Again, and that's a huge thing to break about yourself, because I promise you, a lot of what you eat is directly attached to unhealed trauma. You are eating your feelings. When you feel unloved, when you feel undervalued, when you feel unappreciated, you're eating all that. You're more susceptible to eat unhealthy shit. That's why you got to love up on yourself. You got to take back your energy. This is the healing process, the emotional healing. And then you got to move your body. Intense cardiovascular exercise is essential. It is without exception. You need to get some real intense exercise, getting that heart rate way the hell up there. Resistance training. You don't have to be powerlifting, but definitely doing resistance training to hit all major muscle groups, and specifically the core muscle groups, your thighs, your core. So important, because your legs, this is what's going to get you around. You got to get after it. I'm somebody that, when it comes to hiking, I'm always going up. I always want to go up. That's getting high on life and wasted on nature. I always want to go up. But it's literally, if you go to the gym, you do a Stairmaster, it's the most intense. It's the most intense workout. And that, again, that's just hitting my legs, my trunks, my core. Right? And then fourth is you gotta be a student of this thing called life on earth, this school. If you are kind of like, I've learned what I need to learn, and the things I've learned aren't even things I want to learn because you've learned all the painful lessons of life. Well, it's up to you to start learning some really sweet lessons of life. But you got to be playing offense and not defense. It means you got to go out there and try new things and experience all that life has to offer you. And some things that you're going to love are things I would never even consider. But that's what makes you special. That's what makes you one of one. It makes me one of one. There's something unique inside of you. And if you're not willing to learn and try, you may never figure out who you truly are. That's probably the most important piece of this entire message, that if you don't give yourself permission to literally, with intention, go out into the world and start learning new things, trying new things that make you uncomfortable, things that make you nervous, things that make you even afraid to figure out who you are. Because you know who you've been. But who you truly are, that version of you comes out when you start taking leaps of faith, when you start truly facing and overcoming your deepest, darkest fears. And that's being the student. And once you have all that fifth and final thing, it's not because it's the least thing, but it's just knowing that as you've minded your mornings, as you've eaten your health, as you've moved your body, and as you're learning new things, now you can be in this world and you can be looking for opportunities to share all of that beauty, all of that light and that love with others, to go make a positive impact, to know that we're all in this together. It ain't just about you. It ain't just about me. It's about we. We are in this together. If I help you and you help me, we are making this world the most incredible of places. But when we're locked, when we're shut down, when we're guarded, when we're licking our wounds, when we're just victimized and always in a state of like, look how bad it is for me, and jealous of others and envy and angry, it's like, it's a tough place to be. It's a part of all of our story at different times and different, intensities. But we've all felt that way. And we don't have to stay that way. And that's why it's like, when I say the one-dimensional, I just know people that say, I'm going to change my life and I'm going to lose 20 pounds. Well, that's good. But how do you keep it off? Why? Why do you want to lose 20 pounds? Well, I don't feel good. Okay. So if you lose the 20 pounds, you'll feel better. Gotcha. See, I know people that are very sexy, very athletic, very toned and muscular, and they are miserable. So again, if you attach your mood to an outcome, that's what's called suffering. Because what you are doing with yourself, write this down. This is something a lot of people are doing. I've done it as well, and I'm freeing myself from it. What we do is we make an unwritten contract to ourselves. This is the definition of suffering. We write an unwritten contract to ourselves, a declaration that we will not be happy until something happens in the future. And unless that thing happens, we're going to stay sad. We're going to be miserable. We're going to be bitter. We'll be angry. And we need to free ourselves from that misery, from that suffering. You need to realize that by being happy in the now, with everything that is, all the circumstances you're dealing with, right? It's like The analogy would be, it's stormy. I'm even starting to feel a few raindrops, right? That means the temperature's dropping. The day is starting to come to a close. Could I mentally, emotionally, and spiritually put myself on a beach with beautiful weather, warm, sunny beach, beautiful day, palm trees, waves just crashing, crystal clean water, and just feel the warmth of that? Even though I'm in a storm here in northern New Mexico, could I put myself there? Could I feel that? And the thing is I can do it. You can do it too. And you may need to practice that, but you can apply that to everything. You can apply that to, if relationships really matter to you, you can really start to feel what it would feel like to be in a healthy relationship, to be in a loving relationship, a supportive relationship. If you're somebody that's paycheck to paycheck and barely getting by, you can put yourself in a situation where it's like, what would it be like to walk into a store and not have to ask what something costs? If it's something that aligns and catches your attention and you think it's something that you would enjoy in your life, you can just say, can I have that? And then even the salesperson looks at you like, what do you mean? So just think of like, what would that feel like to be in that kind of abundance, right? If it was a health thing, what would it feel like to get on a scale and see that ideal weight and know that you didn't have to cut a bunch of corners and, cheat the system, that you actually put in real work, transformational work, changing up the nutrition first and then incorporating the movement and the exercise and the sweat, right? And the discipline and the commitment to just one drop at a time, 1 pound at a time. Before you know it, over an extended period of time, you have transformed. And when you do it that way, it's sustainable. You don't have to struggle to keep it. You can just, you get to a place of maintenance. It still takes commitment. It still takes overcoming not feeling good, as if somehow losing the 20, yeah, you're going to get a hit, right? You'll get that endorphin rush, but it never lasts. It never lasts with us. And that's why this journey, this message, as I conclude right here, is all about consistency, commitment, dedication, 1% better each and every day. I haven't arrived yet. I'm not somebody that's like, oh man, I'm teaching this shit now. I ain't got to do it. What do I got to journal for? What do I got to do breath work for? Why do I got to eat healthy and exercise and, work on my emotional state of being and setting my attention? Well, I don't got to do any of that now. I've already been doing that for all these years. I'm teaching it now. Why do I got to preach it and practice it and walk the walk? And it's like, that's exactly what it is. It is a lifestyle. And I know that that can feel overwhelming if you think you're like, man, I don't even know where to start. Well, I have an incredible resource if you're trying to figure out where to start. Click on that link down below. Have you checked out the Results Kill Excuses 1% Better Everyday Journal? Right? In each journal, that's 91 days of guided mentoring, coaching for me, with video support of me guiding and coaching you through specific lessons to help you overcome self-sabotaging patterns and beliefs and to really guide you through the processes that take you to stepping into being a master of yourself. And that is so powerful. But it also takes, asking for help. Some of y'all might need one-on-one coaching. If you think that's something you're interested in, reach out, greg@resultskillexcuses.com. Yes, these things are investments. But here's the beautiful thing. When you invest in you, there's always a return on that investment. I know times that I've invested in a lot of things and I didn't get a return. I didn't get a guarantee. But here's the guarantee. What you put in is what you'll get out. If you go all in, man, you're gonna transform your whole entire life the same way I did. If you put in a half-ass effort, wishy-washy, double-minded, well, you'll get kind of a mixed result. But you will get a result. But at least as you go on that journey, you'll be able to reflect more and more each and every day, and hopefully make deeper and deeper commitments as you start to see that you got receipts and that things are actually starting to shift in your life. That's what we want. But it starts with making a choice. Join me along this journey. Make a choice to become the best version of yourself. See what happens. See how far you can go. I'm rooting for you. I'm here for you. I love you guys. You know the drill. Results kill excuses, because if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it. Greg's out.